to the Earthborne Games podcast. I am your host, Anders Carlson, and I'm joined, as always, by the staff of Earthborne Games, Andrew Navarro.
Oh, hi there.
Hello, Andrew Fisher.
Hey.
Evan Simonette.
Hey.
And Maxine Newman.
Hello, hello.
We're all back together again.
Yeah, how long has it been since we were all on the same episode?
Few months.
Months. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure a few of you are excited about that.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's nice.
The magic is back, baby.
Yeah, your hair's gotten very long, Anders. It's like last time I saw you, you returned from your banishment on an island someplace, and
looking
full beard, long hair. We haven't showered, I assume, in 2 months.
You just spoiled what he's into, which is escaping islands.
Yeah.
Anders only showers for this podcast.
That's right. That's right. Because it is now in smell-o-vision. Shadow drop. It's been a
shadow drop, smell-o-vision.
That it's smell-o-vision now. Yeah, we kind of replaced hairstyles, Andrew Navarro.
Yeah.
I gotta start ponytailing. Maybe you can give me some tips.
It's pretty complicated. Yeah.
Can you pull it all back yet? That was the hardest time for me, was that middle period where it was still not quite long enough to get it all back, but it was still long enough to get in my face, you know? It was kind of that awkward middle period.
That's right. It's long enough to tuck behind my ear so it stays back there.
Okay. Yeah,
usually all day. Were you a long-haired guy? Just for like brief, like when I met you, you were a long-haired guy.
Yeah, just pandemic, basically.
Okay.
At the start of pandemic, I was just like not getting a haircut, and I was like, well, I guess we'll see where this goes. And
and then you lost. I can't remember why. What had to happen for you to cut your hair?
Oh God, let's not bring this back. As
Really?
Tilson just finally let it go.
Oh, really?
I said that if we made a certain amount of money, I would cut my hair.
Oh, right.
On the Kickstarter, and we did. And then some people were like, well, if we make even more money, he should shave his head. And I said something. I don't think I said, yes, I will do it. But I'd be like, I made some sound that was close enough to agreement that some people thought that I should shave my head entirely. But I had all sorts of other things and like photos I needed to be in, and I didn't want to be bald for like, family reunion. Like maybe one of the last times I see my grandmother, I have this shaved head,
Who was that nice bald man who visited?
And Andrew Navarro, I assumed you were mostly a long hair man throughout your life. Am I wrong? Metalhead?
No, yeah, I'd say it's on and off. Yeah, I think like similar to Fisher, though not pandemic inspired. I essentially don't get my hair cut unless I have someone who I trust to cut my hair, or I just get too sick of it that I can't handle it anymore, and I need to get my hair cut. So
right.
Yeah, so not necessarily like long hair all the time, but I do like having longer than short hair. So like I do like having at least
signals
some
signals that you're not a square.
That's right. That's right. I can't have anyone thinking I'm a square. That'd be the worst outcome.
You're circular through and through.
Yeah, oval shaped at least.
So how was everybody's Halloween? Andrew, we missed your top spooky things. Do you have like any you'd like to throw out there real quick?
No, it was the perfect episode for me to be taking a nap through, which is what I did. While you guys were recording. And I'm not like big into spooky stuff, and Halloween's really not my thing. So I'm definitely I think I'm in the minority of most people who I've worked with who really get into Halloween. But this year was great because my oldest son is too old to go trick-or-treating now. So he got to hand out candy, and he had a really great time with that. And I got to enjoy not handing out candy, which was awesome.
Nice. That could have been your top thing. Not having-
The spookiest thing is like having to get up off my ass to go give kids candy.
Did you enjoy like going trick or treating with your kids when they were
No.
little? No,
No, it's cold and miserable. I think if it was like, if we were maybe in a warmer climate, I think it would be fine. But yeah, mostly it's just shivering, bundled up, walking around, oftentimes getting rained on.
Yeah, it's always raining.
Yeah,
I think it's rained every time.
The boys always enjoy it, so it's fun for them. But I'm not gonna not go, selfishly not go. I'll still go, but no, I don't. I'm not into it. I did enjoy it as a kid, though. My mom was really good at like making costumes for me. I went as a U.S. postal box one year. That was really fun. I had this idea like
candy in the postal box.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it was really cool, and she made that. Yeah, so she got into it.
Wow.
But it kind of explained I would like to be a postal box, and then she made that.
Do you remember? I feel like when I was little, the type of costume was far from homemade in my house. It was like a plastic G.I. Joe mask with like a plastic poncho with the picture of the guy on it.
Yeah. I've definitely done that too. Yeah, I've done that too. But yeah, it was good. It was a good Halloween. I enjoyed it.
It's good for a Scrooge like you.
That's right.
I took Wyatt out for his first trick or treating, which was kind of fun. It was just like a couple houses right near ours, and that was it. But like Andrew said, it was raining. It was rainy again this year. But his costume, I was a lion tamer, and he was this little lion, and like it was mostly a towel that looked like a lion, so he was plenty warm. But like he's 2, so basically like I kind of got him to toddle up to the door, and then we taught him to say trick or treat, which kind of comes out as just like trick treat, but people think it's like super adorable, so I think most people got into it. He like was clearly kind of uncertain about going up to people's doors at first. Then like the first person came out, and he we had him hold out his bag, and then the person put candy in it, and he kind of looks and examines the candy very skeptically, and then he just looks up at me and gets this giant grin. Like he kind of understood that like they were giving him candy and this was awesome, which was pretty cute.
That's fun. Did you end up finding your
adorable.
Whip? We did find the whip.
Oh,
yes.
Good.
It does bring the lion tamer costume together, actually. And when we went to a party on Saturday night, I actually like fully painted like a lion scratch scar across my eye, like 3 parallel scars, and that helped a lot to kind of bring together the random vest and everything. So it ended up working out for a pretty low rent costume.
Nice.
Evan, did I see you guys had a theme? You were a
No. My kid again? Was Anna from whatever it's called.
Frozen,
man.
Thank you. Yeah, Frozen. I got those songs stuck in my head, but I couldn't remember the name of the movie.
She was Let It Go.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of places like Spirit Halloween and Target, they would have like vintage looking decorations and stuff. So I just bought like this cool like plastic Wolfman mask that looked like it was made in like the early 80s or something. And that was good enough for me. Not like I'm always planning on dressing up as an adult, but it was just a fun I don't know, accessory to have with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it did rain, so that wasn't very cool, but the entire neighborhood gets into it. Our neighbor right next door has this huge setup that draws a crowd, so it's kind of fun being adjacent to that. Good time.
Very, very disturbing.
You saw it. That's right.
Yeah.
dolls,
bloody dolls, and everything.
A lot of creepy dolls.
I'm kind of 50-50 on it too, Andrew. Just like, what is this shit? Why are we all this disturbing stuff everywhere we're showing our kids?
It's gotten very skeleton heavy this year. There's lots of skeletons more preponderance of skeletons, more so than a previous years.
Gigantic. Those huge ones.
Yeah, like
the Home
12
Depot
foot
skeletons
ones.
really changed the conversation, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
And some people just leave them up all year long. This giant skeleton that's just like their lawn decoration.
I thought it'd be cool to get like 10 of them and then do them all along your walkway, like their hands across from each other, so you have to walk underneath all these giant skeletons. That'd be pretty cool.
That could
would
be like
cool.
in I'm forgetting the name. The bowling movie, and he has the dream where he's going underneath the legs.
Yes,
Lebowski.
Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Jeez.
Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Famous bowling movie.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the year, your entire basement is filled with skeletons.
No, you leave them up all year long. It's just
Okay,
part of your
alright.
decor for your house. It's
You're gonna create the skeleton archway like at your house, Andrew.
Yeah.
We'll go through those bushes, and then leading up to your house, it's just skeletons.
oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
How much does one of those go for? Like,
I
what
heard
would
they're $300.
Whoa!
Yeah,
So we-
Wow.
that'd be like a $2,000.
yeah. I have not
Probably more.
confirmed this price, but that's what I heard. They're like $300.
Makes sense.
That is too many bucks.
That's a lot of money for a giant
That's
skeleton.
too many bucks. Yeah.
Pretty sturdy. They look pretty sturdy though.
Yeah, when you think about the amount of plastic in that thing, it's kind of a miracle that it's only $300.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Well, we've officially-
someone somewhere banked on people wanting to spend a bunch of money on giant skeletons, and they made big bucks this Halloween season.
We've successfully spent enough time on giant skeletons that it will go in the show notes as one of the teasers. For the giant skeleton fans, they'll definitely click.
Right.
But we're going to answer your questions today. We have a few about the new expansions and such, if you still have those. And we're going to be talking about sustainability, things we're into, all the good stuff. But first, what's happening? What's happening? Who's going to answer?
I think I'm going to be talking a lot later,
Okay.
so I'll let other people say what's happening.
Maxine, will you tell us what's happening a little bit?
Well, Spire in Bloom has been announced, along with the other Valley expansions and Moments in the Valley. And Spire in Bloom and Moments of the Valley are available for purchase right now,
Yay!
which is super exciting. Yeah. So if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel to see that announcement video and what that's all about, definitely check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to
exciting.
think everyone who's listening to this knows that.
I would hope so.
I hope so. But if not,
You never
that's
know.
Awesome. Let us know if you heard about it here for the first time. I'd be fascinated to know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and keep your eye out as we release more on the next ones across the coming year.
Yes.
Andrew, do we want to? I put another bullet in what's happening. Do we want to talk about that second bullet in the show notes?
Yeah, I think it's worth talking about because that'll be next week, so we won't have a time to talk about it on the podcast before it happens. So
Okay, and we could just explicitly talk about it.
yes, because we've already mentioned
Okay.
it in an update. So we
Oh, okay,
actually
sweet.
the
All right.
date's already in an update, so we're good.
Do you want to take it, Maxine, or should I on this one?
You can take it.
Well, after all that build-up, Hub World Eidolon, as you know, we kickstarted that, or game founded that earlier this year, crowdfunded it. We are going to be opening late pledges next Tuesday.
Correct. 1 week from this recording.
Yep, so the 11th, November 11th, next Tuesday, we'll be opening late pledges for that. So if you didn't get in on the original Kickstarter, now is a great time to jump in. We'll also be updating a little bit on where the game has come since then. We've got some new card templates to show you all, some updates to that, a bunch of new art and things. We're not going to be sharing all of it, but you will get to see some of where the game has come in the last several months as we've been working on it.
Yep, lots of changes out of playtesting. Yeah, the new refreshed card templates with stuff that we wanted to change ourselves, and also incorporating some of the feedback from the backers, who I think had some, valid valid concerns about some aspects of it, and I think we addressed really well. And I think, they look great. I'm so pleased with them. Like I've been telling Evan, it's really cool that we just kind of set them down for a few months and then came back to them, because I thought they were already really awesome, but I think the time just letting them sit and I was going to say ferment, but just kind of hang out. I think the changes to them they look so much better, and they already look great. So I'm really excited to show everyone.
And I think just setting it aside allowed us to like decouple from the attachments that we had to certain things that decisions we made early on,
right.
And that really helped open the door for me creatively. Sometimes I get kind of stuck on building off of something when it can just be kind of demolished to a certain degree.
Right. Yeah.
And
you're more willing to demolish it if you let it sit for a little while. For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, and as Andrew said, there's a bunch of playtesting updates in there. We updated some terminology based on feedback after the crowdfunding campaign, as well as just a bunch of card tweaks from our awesome group of playtesters. I know a bunch of you listen, so thank you all so much. And so that set is like the card text now is looking pretty good. There may be tweaks between now and when we go to printing. We've started testing on set 2, which obviously could impact set 1, and we've still got some time. So there could be a few more tweaks based on that, but it's a lot of our card text and effects in set 1 are now kind of like soft locked, short of any set 2 feedback. So set's in a pretty good place. So you may see some tweaks to old cards. A lot of that's just for balance and playtesting reasons.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for telling me what's happening. We have a segment tonight, as we often do. A discussion topic, if you will. And it's a return to everyone's favorite corner, the sustainability corner. And so with the launch of Spire in Bloom, as well as our upcoming Asian print run of Rangers, there have been a lot of questions about our sustainability goals. So for today's discussion topic, we thought we'd like to focus on that and talk all about it. So this is the presentation. Go on,
Anders,
Fisher.
This is the one time I don't put a bunch of effort into writing an intro, and you read it word for word.
Which you never do.
I thought it sounded great.
Yeah, that was perfect.
There's not much to riff on that. I think people understand what we're going to talk about, though, don't they?
I do. I guess I do. I would have put more effort into handcrafting that if I'd known we were going to go word for word this time.
Do you want to know what I did, though? I added some flavor in my delivery because
you did. I really liked it.
That was my strategy there. So do you want to take it away? We've got some visuals for you people listening.
Yes.
You might want to check out our maps and charts coming up.
Before I open up the map, first I want to say that I was hoping to have more prepared, like written down and organized thought-wise before I launched into all of this. So know that I'm doing this pretty much off the cuff. I know all the information, but the order in which it tumbles out of my brain into my mouth and out of it might not be ideal. So keep that in mind, everybody. Secondly, I think before I do the screen share to kind of illustrate some of my points, I think one thing I definitely want to talk about just off the top, just if you don't listen to anything more of this, it was going to be probably very, very in depth with the explanation of everything we've done with production up to this point. But if you skip all that, I think the important thing to remember about our sustainability goals as a company is that we're not settled in anything. Like, we're constantly trying new things and figuring things out as we go. And it's very much a situational production by production mentality that we have going into this. And I have all sorts of like goals around manufacturing that play into sustainability, but like aren't, I don't know, like I think some people might argue that it's not as sustainable as it could be, but you can be the judge. I think, we're just know that we're always trying to do the best thing for all of our productions from a sustainability standpoint. But that doesn't mean every production can be treated the same. And I think maybe that's where there might be some confusion. At least I've heard on Board Game Geek, there was at least someone who was pretty dismayed that we were only printing Spire and Bloom and Moments in the Valley in the US right now. And like, since we were like, oh, so I see you're giving up on sustainability then. I'm like, oh, okay, that's an interesting perspective. I don't think that's what we're doing. I do think you could make a pretty strong argument that manufacturing in the United States for this production is more sustainable than anywhere else we could have done it. But maybe they feel that way because we're not printing it simultaneously in two countries, which is what we did with some, but not all of our products from the Game Found campaign. So with all that being said, I'm going to step everybody through all of our productions that we've done over the past couple of years and show you where they were made and then roughly where they were shipped to. And you can see that, to try to take you through like my thought process on why we did things this way or how it shook out this way. And again, just knowing that like all this is learning. We're constantly learning about what is best for us, what we can sustain over the long term. There's nothing that's settled yet. So know that, like, from my perspective, that's part of what we do, is try to do different things and then see how well it works.
It's also not an all or nothing thing either, right? Like, I think some of the discussion topics around our sustainability, like as you said, Andrew, it's like, oh, well, I guess you're not sustainable now. And it's not a binary, like, all of this is on the spectrum, or there's weird trade-offs that, like, it's unclear what is the most sustainable option, and we have to balance sustainability against our product quality, against other restrictions, such as like all the tumultuous global trade right now. So there's
Right.
a lot of different like factors.
Yes.
And so we are trying to make the best decision on any given thing, and that it's not a question of is it sustainable versus is it not. It's like a question of how much and in what areas. So This is not a all or nothing equation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like thanks for bringing that up, Fisher, and because that reminded me, I think the important thing to remember about like Earthborne sustainability goals, like kind of like the number one goal, is just to reduce waste. Like that's, in my mind, that's number one. That is like very obvious common sense stuff. Reducing waste and not putting something out into the environment that's going to last forever. Which is why we don't put any plastic in our games, and all of our games are essentially compostable or recyclable. So those are the things that are most important for me, and those things we hit on every single time. Everything else, we'll you can, like I said, you can be the judge. All right, everybody see that?
For those of you listening, we are looking at the globe.
Yes.
What type of projection is it, though?
This is the world.
Is this the Mercator projection?
This is the DuckDuckGo image search. Large. Everything looked mostly all right. I had words on it that I could read. That's what this is. I make no claims as to the accuracy of this map of the world.
Yeah, I expect you to draw perfect trade routes here, Andrew.
I'm not doing that either. Yeah,
I don't want you to see a single point of longitude off here.
All right, I'm going to put a little overlay over here so that I can draw on this and we can see what I'm drawing a little bit easier. So I'm going to pale that out a little bit. And I'll bring up this layer that I've dropped in here that has all of our factories that we've worked with so far on Rangers.
We've got one in the U.S., in Michigan.
Yeah,
we got
hold on
one
a
in
second.
the UK.
Sorry. I have to get my my tablet turned off. Okay, yeah. So we have Delano, which is right there.
That one's Michigan in the U.S.
Yep. We have Ludefact in Germany. We have CMA in England. That's our minis manufacturer. We have Balto Print in Lithuania. They're the ones who printed the World of Earthborne Rangers book. And then we have Panda. I don't know if this is actually where they are. I'm just guessing it's near Hong Kong. Yeah, these aren't in perfect spots either. I should just like make a big dot over China. It's here. But this is Panda. So this is who we'll be working with on the next print run that we're just getting going right now. So we have, as you can see already, 5 different factories that we're working with. For most board game, tabletop game manufacturers, this is not normal already. Like most people will only have one, and they'll essentially go through them for mostly everything. But again, because we're trying to do things sustainably, and one, my goal was to avoid printing in China for our first print runs. It led to certain decisions. So I'll bring you through the first print run so we can see how it worked. So in the first print run, we printed almost exclusively at Ludefact, which is here, and that is the core game, and it was the doubler. We also printed the tokens, the wooden tokens here, and the Valley Trail map. And I think that's everything from the first printing, right? Am I missing anything?
Well, then we have the World of Earthborne Rangers.
Oh,
book,
yeah. But I meant at Ludo. At Ludo.
Oh, yes. That's everything at Ludo. Yes.
Yes. All right. Then we printed the World of EBR at Balto Print in Lithuania. And then the minis in the UK. Okay. So originally, our plan coming out of that Kickstarter, because we reached that, we didn't really reach the stretch goal. We became close enough to the stretch goal where I was like, okay, we'll do regional manufacturing. We were originally going to print both at Ludefact and at Delano. But as we've documented in the past, this didn't work out for one reason or another, mostly because our sales rep kind of disappeared. But then that was followed up with pandemic times, which is easy to forget how crazy things were at that time. But essentially, they were booked, and there was no way we could get the product made there in any kind of speedy fashion to match the production.
There was some issues with getting the right sustainable materials too.
Yes,
North
exactly.
America.
We couldn't get the materials we wanted in time to do the printing at the same time that we were printing in at Ludefact. In hindsight, like, it was really a blessing in disguise, I think, to go to just one factory for our main production. Because these are all things I've said before. So for people who've listened to this podcast and have listened to every single episode, I'm kind of doing a recap of everything that you've heard over the past 3 years. So it was kind of a blessing that we ended up not doing the production in both of these places, just because it was our first production. I think that would have been really, really challenging. Having gone through it now with the second printing, it would have been extremely difficult to do as our very, very first production, just because I was learning a lot. We were learning a lot at the time. And then the logistics of fulfilling that, as you'll see with the next, when I go over the second printing, gets kind of bonkers. So anyway, it didn't work out with Delano, so we had to then print everything in Germany. And part of what our goal is to print our products as close to the majority of our customers as possible. And the majority of our customers are here. by like 60-40, I would say. A little bit less than, maybe like 55-45. It kind of fluctuates, but I would say it's like 60-40 North America, rest of the world, with primarily in Europe as our second market. I was able to justify it to myself that we were printing here because of our foreign language partners, which made it so that the bulk of this print run that we did print at Ludo stayed in Europe. Because here we also printed Italian, German, French, and that was it at the time.
Yep, that was it in the first printing.
Yep. So the combination of these things plus English made it so that the bulk of our printing did stay in this general area. But we also had to do a lot of shipping. So to show you how that worked. So we had these aren't shipping lanes. You can look up like ocean freight lanes on the internet if you really want to get into it, so you can like figure out which routes the freight may have taken. I do not know specifically the routes that were taken. I could ask, but it's I think that's maybe too much inside baseball.
Yeah, I was joking. Please don't do that.
So we made everything here at Ludo. So that meant that, you know, we obviously were able to fulfill like into Europe, so right here. But then we had to ship over to the UK for our customers there. We had to ship over to the United States, and then that went up to Canada. We had to, I don't think it goes this way. I think it probably goes like this. Over to Australia, and then up into New Zealand. So that's just all the core games shipped around that much already. We also had the World of Earthborne Rangers, which we could have printed domestically, because domestic printing is a really big, important thing for me and something I really was aspiring to. So books we can print in the US, no problem. We could have done that FSC in the US, no problem. But since we were essentially fulfilling most stuff out of Europe, I decided to print it here in Lithuania at Baltoprint. So that stuff got shipped to Ludopact or Ludofact, and then put onto containers and then shipped out around the world with the rest of the products. The plan was also to do that same thing for the minis. We were going to ship those to Ludofact and then ship those around the world, but the minis were late, so we ended up putting them on a plane. They're very, very small, so they got on a plane and got sent over to the United States from England, and then also sent over to Europe to our fulfillment center there. And I do believe they were shipped over before they got on a boat to go to Australia. So this is the first print run, first printing. This is the Kickstarter. All right. So that's everything for that. Does anyone have any questions before I move on to the next one, which is the big one?
No, do it.
All right. Okay, second printing. Well, I guess this is actually the second and third. The second printing took place here at Delano in Michigan. So we had the core here, the doubler. We had stewards of the Valley, Legacy of the Ancestors, the Valley Trail Map, the Arcology Corridor Map, the
Moments on the Path.
Errata.
Oh yeah.
Moments. All right. All these were printed here. We also printed them here for the most part. We did not, however, print the Errata Pack, Trail Map, or the Arcology Map at Ludo, because the quantities did not make sense and they were relatively light. We also did the minis again, more minis, 4 times minis at CMA. And then we did the World of EBR here again at Balto Print. And we did the LOA campaign guide at Balto Print. Okay. So as you can see, there are a few things that we did not print in both places. The reasons why we didn't print those things in both places, again, because the quantities didn't make sense. And when I say the quantities don't make sense, that means that the price we could get on printing them for the amount that we needed to print, it made no sense for us to spend the time and the energy and the money to print those things in two spots. And since they're relatively light and not very numerous, it was pretty easy to ship those. So same thing with the errata pack. We just didn't have that much. We already have more errata packs than I want. We have plenty of extras. I ordered a few extras, but I think they gave us even more extras than I wanted, which is kind of how production works. Like they'll give you plus 5%, minus 5% from what you order, and you just got to deal with it. Most of the time, factories will print over, and then they'll just charge you extra for those extra copies that they printed for you. So anyway, we have a lot of these errata packs right now that we don't need, I don't think. Unless there's people who come out of the woodwork and decide I really want those handful of cards and the extra dividers for your first edition printing. So what allowed for this to take place was our massive success on GameFound. Without that massive success, we would not have been able to afford this, because not only were we able to print enough of these in the States to make it sort of justifiable for the expense, but we were able to also have enough to print these over in, again, at Ludifact. But I'll say the other thing that helped unlock this ability for us, in addition to the GameFound campaign, was, again, our foreign partners. So we had, again, Italian, we had French, we added Spanish, which was the savior here, and then German was supposed to be on this, but we didn't get it in time. So that's going someplace else. But thankfully, these helped smooth out our numbers and get them high enough. So the higher the quantity, the cheaper the production. And the reason is because what you're really paying for at the factory is time. So if you're printing one thing, like say you're printing one copy of a Earthborne Rangers core game, every step, like the setup process for printing one copy of a core game, is the same whether you're printing one copy or you're printing 100,000 copies. The setup time on the machine, getting all the plates ready, all that stuff, like it's the same amount of work no matter how many copies you print. And those machines print things so fast that like the amount of time, the time difference between like 500 copies and 5,000 copies like is not immense. Like that stuff flies through those machines. It's pretty wild how quickly things print.
Yeah, for perspective, most factories won't even print under 1,000 of something. Like they can and they will print, like take on 500 runs for a client who maybe does other work. But like if you're like a small new publisher and you want to just print 500 of your game, you're going to have a real hard time even finding a factory who would take that job.
Right. So like at Ludifact, for example, like their minimum order quantity is 2,000 for pretty much anything. But to your point, Fisher, like if you're already a customer of theirs and they can help you out with something, they will, but it'll cost you if you're underneath that.
Yeah, you're
that
basically
amount.
paying the same amount as if you had gotten just some marginal material cost differences.
Right. So the reason why we did this like regional printing here on this print run, like I said, is really just because we could, and two, because I wanted to make good on my promise from the first Kickstarter. So originally, when we were first figuring out or trying to determine where to print this, my original plan was to do it all at Delano, because that was the goal from the beginning, was to do domestic printing. And in talking to James Naylor, whose company helps us with all sorts of things, including our fulfillment and logistics, he was like, "Dude, don't do that. don't print it at two spots. Just out of practice, like, because it's totally impractical, and it adds all these additional variables and difficulties to the whole logistics process." Which I remember the first meeting I talked to him about that, I came out of me like, okay, yeah, you're right. We'll just go with one. And then I want to say it was like maybe 3 weeks tops when I got back to when I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I want to do it this way. And he's like, all right, well, I'll support you. So kudos to him for being a trooper and helping us make this happen, because it wouldn't have happened without their support. But he was right. It turned out to be very, very challenging to do. And here's why. Or so remember that we have all these different things here. All right. So this is the way, like, here, let me see. I'll copy this. So this is what we ended up having to do then for this printing. So from the US, most of the stuff went out, into the United States and then up into Canada. We also shipped from the US to Australia. I'm guessing it's probably this way, but I don't know for sure. It could be this way. No clue. One or the other. I'm not sure which one is faster. So we shipped to Australia from the US. We also had a freight shipment that had the errata pack, and the maps. Those got sent over from the US to Germany. And then from Ludafact, we fulfilled into Europe and then into the UK. But we also had I forgot to add onto that list there the meeples and the tokens. Two things that we cannot make in the United States at all.
Because of material issues?
Because of materials. Yeah, we don't have the expertise to do the wood. And you can make wooden components in the US, but they're crazy expensive. Like, no one does it like they do in Germany or in China. Like, those are like your only two places you can. There might be more, but those are the only two places that most people can go to get, custom tooled, printed wooden components. So then from there, we also shipped over to the US. So there's a freight shipment here. There's a freight shipment here, and then there's one here. We also ended up shipping into around the world this time. So the first printing, we really limited the number of people who could even order the product. Like, really, really limited the regions. This time around, we left it open to the entire world. So I think we also have a shipment that went into China, I think, for a VFI, and it's entirely possible that the shipment here went from China down to Australia, for all I know. But we shipped here as well. And then this is from here, we're shipping out to customers, around the world. There's not very many people who fall into that category, but that is like, when you're selling to people around the globe, you're going to end up shipping your stuff everywhere. So, and then with the minis, same thing happened as last time. The first time, everything was late, so I ended up putting on a plane and then shipped individually into Germany and the US from England. So even with regional manufacturing, there's only so many things we can manufacture regionally, and doing so doesn't negate shipping or freight shipment if there are products that we're excited about making and we want to make them. So I think like another thing I think is important to maybe like just set as a ground rule for like how sustainable are we, like just to concede the fact that we are making things, because I think a lot of people can be like, well, just don't make that then, if that's not going to be sustainable or as not sustainable as possible, you can't do it domestically. We don't take that hard line of an approach. Like you look at the product, how sustainable can we make it? We'll make it where we can make it. So if we decide we want to do wooden tokens, I feel like my two options are China or Germany. The one that makes the most sense for us is to go to Germany, because that's closest to where all the other things we are that are manufacturing. We could have gone to China and then shipped it into Germany or shipped it in the US, but we didn't do that. So anyway, so I think it's important to just say, like off the top, that not doing something is not an option in my view of sustainability, because I think that's like, I think I've talked about this before. I feel like that's a very reductive and non-helpful approach to take, to say like the most sustainable thing is to do nothing. Because I think a lot of people, there's some people who are like, haha, beat that. I'm like, well, we're making something.
Then we just
so
wouldn't exist.
Yeah, that's your argument. It could be valid, is valid from a grand philosophical standpoint, but practically speaking, it's not a valid position to take when we're talking about this here. So, so that's our so that was our second printing. So you can see right there, like even though we do regional manufacturing, like it's not so cut and dried as like nothing gets ocean freighted. So so then we come to Spire and Bloom and Moments in the Valley, which is what we're doing right now. I decided that we were going to do all of that right here at Delano. And this is just English for those two products, Spire and Bloom, Moments in the Valley. So why are we not printing it in both places? One, what we need over here in Ludifact to make it work are foreign languages. And we made the decision this time around to not do a simultaneous release with our foreign languages and English. And that was honestly like our plan for the second printing also, was to start with the English here and then follow that up with our production at Ludo for our foreign languages. But because of delays and timing and everything, it just ended up working out where they essentially happened at the same time. But the US production was very, very slow for that second printing. The Ludifact production was more or less on time. So they ended up converging in a way that made it feel like we were maybe a little bit more coordinated than we actually were. It just kind of like worked out that way. And I think that was a nice coincidence. But like with the second printing, like we didn't deliver those files, or we tried to not deliver those files to our foreign partners until we were effectively done working on the English ones. Because on the first time around with the first printing, we had a lot of back and forth and changes, like late in the game with our English version of the product that we had to communicate back to our foreign language partners, and it was a lot of work, a lot of miscommunication and back and forth that was very, very challenging, mostly for Fisher, because he's the one who's in charge of working with our foreign language partners. So for this, we wanted to, again, like essentially lead with the English from the US. We will hopefully be doing foreign language editions. We are currently soliciting our foreign partners right now to talk to them about like when they'll be doing that production. But if we get enough foreign language partners on board, I've already heard from the Italians, so I think they're on board. If we can get enough to make it affordable to print at Ludo for Spire and Bloom and Moments in the Valley, we will do that. All of our foreign language partners, for the most part, our current ones are in Europe. We do, however, now have 2 of them in China, or in Asia rather. So while we are we've printed right now for English in the US. That means that we are ocean freighting over a number of those copies. So I guess I should put it more like this, because it's going here to England. We'll be ocean freighting a number of copies over to there, because this is again what we planned from the beginning. And then in a few months' time, once the localizations are done, we'll be printing it either at Ludo or at Panda, depending upon the quantities. Because again, it's a question of how many foreign language partners we can get, how many we can print, and then if that is even affordable. And the lower the number we have to print, the more likely it is that we'll have to print those here to make it affordable for everybody. But if we get a lot of interest and we get a big number, then we can print it here. And I think that's my ideal, because this is what I've been planning on. So hopefully we get that interest. So far, I think so good. I think we should be in good shape, but stay tuned. But that really only matters mostly for our foreign language partners, though if we find we need more English at that time, we'll also reprint some English at Ludo at that time. So if you can see here, like, there's not a whole lot of ocean freight happening with this one. So to say like, oh, we're giving up on sustainability with this printing, I think hopefully maybe you can see how ridiculous of a take that is. Though we will probably also maybe, I don't know, I guess we'll see how sales go. I think we might end up shipping some down to Australia. But I think that'll probably be it. Or, that Australia shipment might wait until the Ludofact run, for all we know. If they end up wanting to buy some copies, the distribution or retail down there.
And a thing to keep in mind too, with like this second and third printing and all these different ocean freight lines we're talking about, like not all ocean freight is created equal. Like a lot of these, there's a lot more lines crossing the globe in our second printing, but a lot of those lines are smaller pallets, right? Like,
oh yeah.
So like, ocean freighting your entire print run across the ocean, you're taking up whole shipping containers. Whereas
Yes.
like us sending some minis is like a few boxes, right? Like those are those shipments. It's not like they're sending an Earthborne ship across the ocean. We are one little box on like a sea of boxes, right?
Yes.
So that it's, again, it's not an all or nothing thing. We have these lines, but they are, very much different weights as far as how much they are impacting the overall oceanic freight.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think we've sent anything more than what can fit inside of a container. Apart from the first printing from Ludofact, we sent, I think the core game came in multiple containers because we had a lot coming over. But second printing, I don't think we exceeded a container in any of our a single container in any of our shipments. And this current one we're sending over to the UK is going to have Spire and Bloom in it, but it's also going to have a restock of core games from the US, because we've run out of core games in Europe, which was a surprise to me. The challenge always is to figure out how many to print, and I thought we were overprinted in Europe, but apparently we were underprinted. So we'll be bringing some product over along with those Spire and Bloom. And again, that's another like thing where it's like, the shipment is happening already, so we might as well throw some more stuff on there. So we'll be doing that as well. So hopefully retailers and distributors who are currently out of the Earthborne Rangers core game will be able to get some hopefully here in the next month or so. And I think then the last thing to talk about is our Chinese printing. So what is this Chinese printing that I've talked about a couple times? I'll try to get into it a little bit more detail. So we have 2 new foreign partners. We have a Chinese foreign partner, and then we have a Korean foreign partner, and then it was always my plan to do a printing for Asian markets in China. And I think that's awesome to do like regional printing in China. Though I did find out that we will have to pay VAT on these, which is irritating. For anything that stays in the country, you got to pay taxes on it, just like in Europe, in Germany, which is also a gigantic pain in the butt. Which is also partially the reason why it's difficult for us to print in Germany, because the European Union is not set up well for their tax system is not set up well for a United States-based company to print product in Europe for European customers. It's pretty well set up for us to import anything into the country from wherever, but it's very irritatingly difficult, and you have to jump through a lot of hoops tax-wise to make that work. So anyway, the Chinese printing is going to have the Chinese localization, the Korean localization. This was always planned. We're also planning on printing some English for Asian markets and a restock of Australia, because it's as local as you can get for Australia. There's really not board game manufacturing in Australia as far as I know. I've talked to one Australian board game manufacturer, and this is about as close as they can get. But I think that's all right. So that was my plan from the beginning. But as I mentioned, the German missed the printing at Ludifact. So this is our next printing. So unless our German customers, who are still patiently waiting for Legacy of the Ancestors from the first Kickstarter, unless they wanted to wait even longer, we needed to put them on this print run. So we're going to be printing some German here. And also Spanish is out of core sets. They need more core sets. So again, unless we want to wait forever, we're going to add some Spanish here as well. And then additionally on top of this, we have Czech, which we're printing here. And the reason why we're printing Czech here is because they're getting a very, very small market, and they would not be able to afford to print on the Ludo run because of the price hike. The price difference is so massive. So we have all these things now happening here at this print run, which originally was just these 3 languages, and is then kind of expanded to include these languages. And we're also at a point right now where we need to restock the core game. So all we're printing in China is the core game. And I had a decision to make as to whether or not we wanted to be out of stock on the core game, or we want the core game in stock. Since we're trying to create a stable business, it makes far more sense to have the core game in stock. And since we are doing this printing right now, what better way to get the core game in stock than to just up the numbers on our English of the core game, so that we can then restock next, this will be like early next year, probably in the beginning of spring, hopefully. We'll be able to restock here, potentially in Asia if we have some there, restock in the UK, restock in the US, and restock in Canada. So a portion of this printing will end up back in Europe, a portion of it will end up here, and then probably down here and here. But I really wanted to just say that, we'll take everything on a case-by-case basis. Every production's its own unique thing, and we'll be continuing to learn and grow and figure out what is best for sustainability for us, both environmentally and as a company, for now and to the foreseeable future. This is just like part of my decision-making process every single time. But a lot of it is often just, taking what's in front of me, playing the hand that I have been dealt. That
All
is
right.
it.
Thank you, Andrew.
That was a lot. Thank you for hanging in. So if anyone hung through all of that, thank you. Hopefully it was reasonably entertaining.
Very thorough. It was like a lecture with the map and everything, and I think it could be edited out as its own thing if people are really interested in.
Yeah, I feel like people
the
could get some sort of
details.
certification, just by listening to that.
This was actually a lecture, Anders. We've replaced stuff we're into with a test that we will be quizzing you.
Why are you singling me out? You know me well. You know me well.
Yeah. There's so many other things I could get into too. Like I keep wanting to. I don't know if I've ever mentioned on the podcast, but I've definitely mentioned it to the staff, you guys before. Like I really do want to do like a written piece that talks about everything we've learned. It's just it's at the lowest position on my priorities list.
Yeah, for your retirement.
No, I think it's an important thing to do. I just, there's so many things. There's so many things happening right now.
I hear you.
Always. There's always so many things happening.
Such is life. So
exactly.
Better
than nothing happening.
That's true. Depends on your perspective, but let's keep things happening. Let's keep things rolling and happening with some listener questions. We got a few for you. And the first one comes from Braid's Mama. Is Spire and Bloom compatible with Legacy of the Ancestors? And in general, will parts of the Valley expansions be compatible with future campaign expansions? For example, will parts of these expansions take place in the Valley, just like Legacy of the Ancestors?
I'll take this. So the answer is kinda. Yes and no. There are parts of Spire and Bloom and parts of each of the Valley expansions that are compatible with Legacy of the Ancestors. For example, any new cards that go into the Valley set will appear in the Valley set as it appears in that campaign expansion. So when you're above ground in Legacy of the Ancestors, you'll be pulling cards from the Valley set just like normal. Any of the new cards that go into the Valley set will be there. That being said, the campaign expansions have their own map, and we are essentially saying use that map for the campaign expansions. There are many considerations that go into that. So like the new locations in Spire and Bloom, for example, won't appear in Legacy of the Ancestors. But any other cards that go into existing sets that appear in Legacy of the Ancestors will be there. For example, the new card that goes into Lone Tree Station will appear in Legacy of the Ancestors, and any activities that might come of that will be there. So yeah, so a little bit, but not everything. As for future campaign expansions, we'll see. I'm not going to tell you what they'll contain because that would be a spoiler.
Yeah, and you can kind of see where Legacy's map, there's obviously some overlap. You can see parts of the Valley on Legacy's map, just not all of the Valley. And we talked about this in a previous podcast, but like the reason we didn't just have Legacy clip onto the existing Valley is just reactivity, which is you can theoretically go everywhere and do anything you want, but they're not going to necessarily be commenting on or reacting appropriately for the other things going on in the world. And so we have kind of limited the scope of what parts of the Valley you see in Legacy to keep that reactivity there. But, somebody who wants to just go anywhere and do anything and like use those two maps, like I think you could kind of figure out how to mash them together. And but for the sake of like our official approved campaign experiences, we keep it limited so that the story is reacting more how we want it to.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Cool. Our next question is from Twice Baked. I've been noticing how much Evan's line work, shape design, and color choices remind me of another artist I like, Vevolf, Vevolf. I'm always curious about what artists other folks view as their primary influences that helped them develop their style. Would you mind sharing a few sources of inspiration and what drew you to them?
Yeah. So I looked up. I had never heard of that artist, but I can see in some of their more recent work, the similarities. Although the way I arrived at a similar line style was being inspired by this artist named Mateus Bergara, who was like the primary influence for me when I was doing like the Eidalon demo deck art. I've always been like really rigid with my line art, and I was I guess it feels like I'm very technical with it, and I really wanted to loosen up and try different things and challenge myself. So Bergara is like very inspirational to me, and I always look at his work and try to adapt my own sensibilities towards something like that. Just for a variety of reasons, not just the aesthetics of it, but like I feel like loosening up can be a speedier thing. I had a lot of art that I had to get done in a short amount of time for that demo deck. So that's been my recent inspiration. But in the past, like I think I mentioned this in our influential books, but there's a back when we were in college, there's a book I carried around with me all the time called The Art of Final Fantasy IX. Yes, I know, Final Fantasy. I'm a fiend. But that book had a lot of concept artists making environments with like a architectural sensibility that I really loved, and I loved how the line weight kind of divided up the space. So a foreground thing had a heavy line work kind of separating it from a background element. That's been like the sensibility that I've carried with me all through like my art career. And beyond that, beyond those like bookends, there's a number of other artists. I'm focusing specifically on just like line art style. Too many to really, I don't know, to list, but I remember being really into Tony Moore, who was the original artist for The Walking Dead when I tried to follow that comic series, but there's like so many volumes now that I just immediately after the first volume I couldn't do it. It's too expensive. It takes up too much space. But I really love Tony Moore. His shape style is the way he made characters and his line art style, and so yeah, that's
cool.
Nice.
Some examples.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Final Fantasy IX was the last Final Fantasy to have pre-rendered backgrounds. Is that right?
I think 10 had some, but just for certain situations, certain scenes, areas. But so, you're right.
It makes sense then that book would have a lot of great concept art for background material because it just translates so well into the final product.
Yeah, and I really recommend people who are interested to at least. You might be able to go on archive.org and find like scans of the book. It's kind of a rare book nowadays, so but it's worth checking out.
Well, thank you, Evan.
Yeah.
And then we got one more question from God of Toast. I'm currently starting a new job that requires me to travel a lot, almost constantly. It's been a long time dream of mine to do this job, but I'm trying to keep up with my hobby of board games as best as I can. It does mean I really only can pack one small to medium game for weeks or even months at a time. If you were to pick one game like that, what would you pick? A small game for months.
Does Earthborne Rangers count as a medium game?
That depends on how many expansions you bring.
You can shove them all in the box.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just build your deck, right, and then you don't have to bring any of the Ranger cards, and you throw it in a deck box, like, it's not actually that bad, like, sheer amount of cards. You probably don't want to pack it in the, like, our box because it has a bunch of space in it, but you could, like, you could pack down Rangers pretty small, actually. But that might be self-serving to answer Earthborne Rangers.
Well, Well, I think like if you like, I would say that for myself. That's probably what I would choose as our own game, just for me. I can't think of anything else I'd want to bring for like a solo game. I guess it depends if you're playing with other people or
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unclear to me if God of Toast was looking for a solo game. Because yeah, like I do think both Rangers and even Arkham, like if you just bring the deck and like the campaign stuff you're playing, packs down pretty, not too bad. Non-solo, if you're playing with other people, I for a small box, I think innovation punches way above its weight for like a competitive game. I think that game's got a lot going on. For solo stuff, besides just suggesting our own game, like I've been enjoying Final Girl. It's you get some of the value out of it by mixing and matching though, and so like if you just want to bring one box, it's kind of like you can basically get a play or two out of it before you want to mix and match more.
Yeah, I mean, isn't like Final Girl essentially like a box that's like this big but this tall? Because it's you have to bring many.
I mean, like you bring a bunch of boxes, yeah. But like you could theoretically, like depending on how long your trips are, you could have some Final Girl at home, right? And then just like slap together the two modules you want and bring one box with like a new combo each time you travel.
Yeah.
And so get a lot of different solo play out of it. Bring a different box each time.
Or you bring your core box of Final Girl, and then whatever town you end up in, you go buy a new module. Play it and then sell it and then move on to the next town. I guess I don't know what his travel's like.
I know,
town. Bought
they
a
make
Final
good
Girl
use of like the box. Stop. Like the box breaks down into game components, which is really cool.
Yeah, super cool.
I've been meaning to play that game.
For...
I should try that out. I should borrow that from one of you.
Yeah, you can borrow a couple boxes from me. You'll need the core box, but then I know you only asked for one suggestion, but my other thought, this one might be branching a bit beyond where you were asking, but like one very portable way to get a little gaming in is solo RPGs, which have become more and more interesting. Like 1,000 Year Vampire is really interesting one, but I found that more interesting for like just to check out as kind of an experience. I've heard a lot of great things about Sean Tompkins' Ironsworn, so that might be an interesting place to also check out.
My partner was just at Essen, and she picked up a solo RPG for me called The Last Sabbath, or I think that's what it's called. And it's like a witchcraft RPG. Like you're in a coven of witches, and you use divination tools like tarot or runes or whatever divination tools you want to use as part of like the flow of gameplay, and it looks really cool. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, let me see if I'm saying the right.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced
yes,
COVID.
That's the one. The Last Sabbath. Yeah. And the artwork is also super cool. But anyway, that's my solo RPG tangent.
I was gonna. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I enjoyed Escape the Dark Sector. I liked it.
Oh, that game is awesome.
Visually, I loved it. How it looks. I love the presentation of it when you open the box and the paper pads. And
I've almost bought that game so many times. Should I like pull the trigger on that? Like,
well, they
have a fantasy one now too, right?
They had the Escape from the Dark Castle. I think was the first one.
Yeah, and then the sci-fi one followed, which is what I have. I want to get the castle one. Honestly, Andrew, half the reason I bought it is the way it looks.
That's the only reason I have not bought it, because I like the way it looks, and I'm like, every time I buy a game just because of the way it looks, I'm disappointed.
Yeah. So, I have to play it a few more. It's been like a year since I played it, so I should play it a few more times and get back to you with whether or not you should get it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't play a lot of small to medium games. I think like all my favorite games are enormous. That's more my style. That being said, I recently played through all of the Lord of the Rings trick-taking game, and that is very fun and very tiny, and contains a lot of content for being as tiny as it is. And I believe you can play it solo, although it's definitely better with more.
Yeah, I guess Yeah, I don't know. Trick-taking game solo, isn't that kind of... I don't know.
There's like a...
It's like hang around and roll dice by yourself.
Well, you kind of have to like... There's like I've played it 2-player, and when you play it 2-player, there's like a third player that's like the pyramid, and the pyramid is committing cards, and like you have to kind of time your card play with the pyramids. Like it can only play certain cards depending on what's revealed inside the pyramid. So
there's a pyramid in Lord of the Rings trick-taking game?
It's not a physical like 3-dimensional
Like
pyramid. It's like a
pyramid.
You set up cards like one.
Oh,
the first
I see.
card has
the
first row has 1 card. The second row has 2 cards, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, classic
anyway.
Lord of the Rings imagery pyramid.
Yeah, yeah, clearly.
I was just reminded too. There's this adorable little game I got, Tin Helm.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
It's it's difficult. It's punishing. But if you're killing time in like an airport, it's kind of fun.
Cool.
And it fits in your pocket.
If you're driving, I suggest auto bingo. It's like a bingo card with like little red slides. If you see a stop sign, you just go, saw a stop sign. Gotta get it. Whee! Okay, well, thanks for all the questions, everybody. Let's talk about what we're into. And it's the return of it's like the true return of my indie game, Spotlight.
Oh boy.
I don't think I've played a real indie game in a long time because I've been addicted to Monster Train 2, and I looked at my total hours, and it was 400 hours.
Oh my
Holy.
That's a lot.
I don't know
Monster
if I left.
Train.
I don't know if I just left it on a couple times or something, but that seems insane. That's 2 solid weeks of that game. I still like it.
I was kind of ashamed of my time that I put into Rebirth, but that's. I feel like I have rookie numbers.
Supposed to be a long game.
Andres, you have played more of that game than I think I've played of all games since Monster Train 2 came out.
It's addicting. It's addicting for me. I don't know.
Andres, I'm very curious about one of the games you put on your list, though.
Okay, so I hid my Steam Deck. I hid it. I put it up on a shelf deep in the closet because that's where Monster Train 2 lives. So I could play other stuff. And one of those is Ball Pit. Ball Pit.
Yes.
It's kind of the hot new roguelike game. And I like it. I like it a lot. I can't wait to play it after this. It's kind of I've maybe played like 3 hours of it so far, and I still can't tell if it's just pure dopamine or not. You know, like
Yeah.
is
I get
there
that feeling.
something? Is it cool underneath? Because it just feels like a lot of stuff, but it feels good. It's fun. It's kind of like if you're not familiar with it, it's like a breakout style. You're breaking bricks with balls. But you don't have a paddle that you're not trying to deflect the balls. They just come back. You either catch it or it bounces off the back wall and comes back to you. And then you shoot it again. So you have a bunch of balls, and you're upgrading the balls and trying to reach the end. And then in between runs, there's kind of a little base builder simulator thing that's actually kind of fun because it uses that same kind of bouncing ball mechanic to harvest things and stuff. It's got a cool look to it. Cool music.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's worth trying if you want one of those, like, just, I don't know, zone out, keep upgrading stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like doing anything that special. It feels a little like different enough than other stuff that it feels fresh, but I like it. Try it.
I need a game. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I need a game to replace Loop Hero because I finally beat Loop Hero.
You beat it?
And I beat it, yes.
Nice.
It's very much like Loop Hero.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I was like, okay, maybe I should pick up Ball Pit. Or Ball X Pit, sorry.
No, it's Ball Pit. I learned that it's just Ball Pit.
Okay.
And I learned that the X actually sort of makes sense to be in there. It's not just for fun.
It's not just there for aesthetics.
Not just there for aesthetics.
Important.
I mean, not really. You can like kind of multiply power-ups together. It's, I don't know, whatever.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's cool. And then I played
Looks cool.
Yeah, try it. And then, thanks to Andrew's advice last week, I tried to play Silksong more, and I actually got into it. I think it's great. And I saw a movie in the theater this weekend, and it's probably like the 13th time I've seen this movie in the past 2 months.
Yes.
It's called K-pop Demon Hunters,
Woo!
and my daughter loves the movie. So do I.
We watched it we watched it together.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
First time I watched it, I was like, I was groaning. I'm like, this is so cliche and da da da. And then it just grew and grew, and it all accumulated to this sing along at the theater, and it's just way deeper. And its message is really profound and cool, and not one that I think is talked about much in mainstream kids movies. And the music is really catchy and well done. Lyrically, musically, everything. I think it's excellent, and the animation is excellent too. Like all that other stuff overshadows the animation, I think, in like the discourse about it. But like the animation's amazing.
The animation's really good.
I think my favorite part of the movie is more than the music is the costume design of the
the
main group. Huntrix. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Andrew?
I've not seen it.
It's so
I haven't
good.
either yet. I kind of kept meaning to, but to my previous comments about time, I think TV and movies have really fallen off for Sam and I. We haven't even finished like a couple of the shows we've wanted to watch for a long time.
It's a short.
If you,
it's a short watch.
if you can spare 90 minutes for K-pop Demon Hunters,
That's true.
very good.
Okay.
Yes, you like it a
I
lot.
like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I love it.
You love it. Good.
I mean, it's also
Me too.
right up my alley. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
for real.
I was going to say, like, they built the
Aesthetic.
street straight to your house when they made
They
that
really
film.
did. Yeah.
I try not to
Yes.
do this, but I'm going to describe a webcomic I saw, and I don't remember the artist either, so this is terrible. But it was like, and now for the girl band song of the year, and Rumi from that movie dethrones Elsa from Frozen.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And then Elsa's like, finally, or whatever.
Yes.
I thought it was funny.
Well, I don't know. It didn't win
It's
out
true.
for Signy's Halloween costume, did it?
No, you're right.
No.
It's true. It's
Has
true.
she watched it? Oh, Signy.
Yeah. Remember, our kids watched the movie together.
I know. I was thinking.
But yeah,
of
she's seen it more
Fisher.
than that one time.
It's good. All right, that's my corner. Fisher.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So Darren asked. I kind of snuck a listener question in here. Darren did ask if I had any updates on my Dungeon Crawler Carl journey, which I forgot to do. So I will mention. I said I was going to read the first 2 books of Dungeon Crawler Carl and then make a determination. I did read them, or listen to them, and I made the determination that I am stopping there. I actually like, they were really fun. I think I said a lot of this when I first talked about them, but they were fun. The writing, the banter between the main characters is pretty funny, and the company that makes the audiobook is pretty phenomenal. They do just an incredible job with it. It's almost like radio drama style with like some sound effects and things and like
cool.
voice modulation and like so all of that gets high marks. And the meta plot of what's kind of unfolding is kind of interesting. I found myself actually interested to see the next beat in the meta plot around Dungeon Crawler Carl's Dungeon Crawl. However, those beats are kind of few and far between, and between it is what a friend of mine described, and I think is an apt description, as listening to somebody's subpar D&D game campaign. And like, and that's kind of entertaining, but also kind of subpar. And so I'm sorry if I'm offending any Dungeon Crawler Carl fans out there, but I was just like thinking about the things I could be spending my listening time on, and I decided to move on to other things. So 2 Dungeon Crawler Carl books was enough for me. The other thing on my list is I have been playing a little Hades 2 finally. I pivoted to that from Silksong. I forget if I mentioned this last time. I don't think I talked about it at all yet, but I I talked with Maxine a little bit about this, which is just, it hasn't quite clicked for me yet, to be honest. I loved Hades 1, and don't get me wrong, I am enjoying Hades 2, but thus far it is just feeling like more Hades. And like it's a slight improvement on Hades in some ways, but like, whereas when I first stepped into Hades, it was kind of this revelation. Hades 2 is just more good stuff. And while that's awesome, I was joking earlier about not having a ton of time for games. And so like, this sounds so entitled of me, but I kind of like, for me to make time for a bunch of time for a game, to put like dozens of hours into it, it does need to kind of feel like maybe not a revelation, but a step forward. Like Silk Song built on Hollow Knight for me. Hades 2 isn't building as much on Hades 1 for me thus far. But I'm going to give it a few more hours, and maybe it'll sink its roguelike hooks into me again. We'll see.
I feel the same. Would you say if you keep going, Maxine, something reveals itself?
I mean, I feel differently, but I also completely understand where you're coming from, because like, yeah, it is more Hades. For me, that was enough, because Hades was one of my favorite games like of all time. So I was like, yeah, hook me up with that more Hades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm all in, but I can understand, especially like I have more time for gaming than you. So I can understand being a little bit more selective. But I think so. The thing that I like about Hades 2 is the combat has more tactical depth. There's a lot more components. There's a lot more things going on. I feel like I have to think more. With Hades 1, like, as long as I got a good build going, I can kind of just mash buttons and just like blow up everything. I didn't quite have that experience with Hades 2. In fact, every time I just tried to button mash, I just got absolutely stomped, especially at like the higher levels. So I'm actually enjoying it more than Hades 1, although I do think that the plot of Hades 1 is more touching and more, I don't know, from the heart.
Yeah, I found it's interesting because Hades 2, all the dialogue thus far, I'm not that deep into the plot yet, but has been very cozy, which is nice. But like, I kind of liked the edge that Hades 1 had of like, you're kind of these adversarial relationships that eventually interesting things grow out of, like real relationships grow out of. Whereas like, I kind of feel like I step into Hades 2 and like Malinoway is already like BFFs with half the people she talks to. And so I don't feel those things grow as much. It's more just cozy. But you are right about the tactical nature of the combat. Like your 3 buttons like already do so much between choosing whether to charge them for Omega moves and managing your mana, and like just how they interact with like freezing people in place versus this slightly longer range attack.
Yeah.
The combinatorics of just starting out makes for way more interesting gameplay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that's it for me.
Andrew, I think you're at like the perfect distance from the mic that I heard just a huge sigh right there. Navarro.
Andrew's like,
yeah.
Hades 2.
Have you played?
Yeah, I guess my feelings on Hades 2, I'm just not, I wish I was interested. I just don't care. I love Hades 1.
Yeah.
It's great. But I think it's like practically perfect. It's such a good game. It's so well done.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can't improve on it. Like I understand why Supergiant would make Hades 2. Like Hades was massive success. So if you're going to do your first sequel ever, then this seems like a good one. But also, I think part of why I was such a big Supergiant fan is it's like they could have done sequels. They could have done like a sequel to Bastion. They didn't.
Oh yeah.
But they're always trying new things, and I think that's part of what I really have admired about them. And I don't know, they've done a lot of things, a lot of pretty distinct games. So it's entirely possible that they're like, well, that's all the ideas I've got. Let's do Hades 2. But I would have preferred to see something new from them, just because I'm such a big fan of their entire catalog. I think the only game of theirs I haven't played is Pyre, which I still regret not playing.
Pyre is so interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's such an interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think those are my feelings on Hades. Is that it feels I don't know. It's hard to improve upon the perfection that is Hades 1, which is just such a phenomenal game. I love that game so much.
Well, the critics love it. Isn't it like 10 out of 10 everywhere?
It's gotten very good reviews. Yeah.
So you're not alone, Maxine. Let's go to Evan. What do you like? What do you like these days?
Well, it's funny that we were talking about Final Girl because that's a game that I had been thinking about for a long time, and I finally picked it up a couple weeks ago. And
oh, cool!
I just picked up the Nightmare on Elm Street kind of knockoff Maple Lane, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought that I was expecting there to be like more of a narrative experience, but it's really just like a mod. It's a modular system that has some small scenarios, but I wasn't dismayed when I started playing because it became a really fun puzzle game with a few variations in just the box, this single box, and outside of the fact that you can swap in characters from other games and things like that. I hated how big the D6s were and how round
they are.
They
very
are.
Weirdly chunky.
It felt like every time I rolled them, it was wrong, and like they would either fall off the table or they didn't roll right to me. And I just use little D6s. Like I use these things. I refuse to use those big things.
Are they bigger or smaller than a Destiny die?
They're a Destiny die, basically.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're the same size.
Yeah, they're almost the same rounding too.
Yeah.
Except just with pips, or do they have pictures on them?
They have
icons.
Yeah, icons. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're basically like playing 40K where you hit on fives and sixes.
Okay.
And then threes and fours, you got to, I guess it's not exactly like it, but you kind of understand how it works.
Right. You don't need the icons. You can figure it out with just numbers.
Yeah.
Well, if you're ever interested in playing another box, Evan, let me know. I've got a few.
Yeah, I forgot that you were playing it too. I ended up buying Happy Trails Horror because I'm just kind of revisiting the ones that are rooted or inspired by the, Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, because those are the cheesy 80s horror movies that I love.
Yep. So. Yeah, I've got Not Alien and Not the Thing and Not Scream, if you're curious for any of those.
Other than that, there's this. I just stumbled upon this thing came up in my YouTube algorithm called Project Shadowglass, and it's like a passion project that someone's working on. It's like a 3D fantasy RPG, and he said it's inspired by immersive sims like Thief, Deus Ex, and System Shock, which I've not played any of those games. I was just drawn to the graphical, like the pixel style that he's going for. It's really interesting because it's kind of like calling back to earlier shooters, or first person games, kind of like Bolt Gun. But in this, he does something interesting with how the 3D environment is processed, where distant 3D objects like mountain ranges or castles, the way that it's reduced down to pixels, it flattens it in a way that it looks almost like a point and click adventure from like the 90s instead of like a 3D object that has textures plastered to it. It's hard to explain, but I can tell just by looking at the presentation that it's super important to him how it looks, and he's hitting something that's really interesting to me.
I've totally seen footage of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks so cool.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe I don't even know what the game is going to be like because I haven't played the games that are inspirational to him. But I'm definitely going to try it out if it ever comes out.
Yeah, I love old immersive sims. Like that's
me too.
Yeah, so this one got a follow. This is a good find, Evan.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Don't thank me, thank the algorithm.
Thank you, algorithm.
I refuse.
Yeah, I know. I felt dirty.
The
just
algorithm
saying
is
that.
your enemy.
Google
algorithm
will help you
is
find
you.
true love.
Well,
That's where
I'm
we
just
learn.
trying to earn some, some points for when it eventually starts judging us. And
Remember that thing I said about you?
yeah, see, I said, yeah.
All right, that brings us to Andrew Navarro's favorite things of the week.
Well, this week, I think I'm still playing Death Stranding 2. I'm like, so now I'm in the toiling away in the mines portion of the
100%
gameplay.
fine.
Yes.
Oh boy.
I thought I'm so close. It's like I'm 2 trophies away from 100%ing it, for getting my first platinum trophy. And I'm at the point now where I'm vacillating between like, I just don't want to do this versus just do it. Like, you're so close. But I actually found like what I'm working on right now, other people have had difficulty like getting past a certain threshold with. So essentially in this game, you're helping to connect a bunch of people on this map. And the part of the completion is to get a 5-star connection rating with every facility on the map, which is like, I don't know, it's like 60 of them or 50 of them, or so there's some crazy number.
Jeez.
I have 2 more to go, 2, but they're very like, they're the most complicated ones, and they require specific orders for you to complete in order to get them all the way to 5 stars. But one of them I read I think on Reddit, like people were having difficulty because you needed to like unlock a delivery to them from someone else before you could unlock the final delivery that they give you. But in order to do that, you have to like go and essentially just do the deliveries you haven't done yet, even if it's to facilities that you have 5 stars with. So like, I'm just doing all of the freaking deliveries now. And so I just essentially just set up a second screen with like a podcast on my phone and have that going, and I'm just going around just mechanically doing the tasks at this point. But that game's great though. I think it's a really great game. But is it great enough to spend as many hours as I've spent on it? Definitely not.
Oh, you have the sunk cost fallacy going on.
Yeah,
Where
I know.
Yeah.
Like if I give up now, like what example am I setting for my children?
You got that turned around.
Well, as I mentioned on Friday, Andrew, I have the same issue. I'm trying to 100% Rebirth, and I've left all of the most annoying mini games till the end, and I just can't bring myself to jump back into it. But I know I'm going to have to eventually. I got to master these 2 songs that you play on a piano, and they're impossible. And then there's like this gallery shooting game that I'm so terrible at. I just wish I had a mouse, like and a keyboard to play that part. So I
can you hook that up to your PS5? Put a mouse and keyboard in there.
Maybe
I don't know.
I don't know if
I want to go that far. I mean, I guess I do have a wireless mouse. I could probably try it.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of it. And you know, it's football season, so I'm in football mode. So I'm enjoying football season. My fantasy football team is doing well for the first time in like 6 years. So that's pretty awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It feels like an accomplishment.
Feels like an accomplishment, just like it does to finish this podcast. Thanks for joining us.
You skipped Maxine.
Oh, I skipped
Hey, what
Oh,
about
wow.
me?
Maxine, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I felt
It's
like
all
we talked
good.
about Hades too, but that's because it was Fisher.
That was my turn.
Okay,
Yeah.
Maxine is
Sorry.
closing us out tonight.
It's okay. I'll keep it quick.
No, it's okay.
So I've been playing a game called Dispatch, which is super fun. I learned about it because it's made in collaboration with Critical Role, and a lot of the Critical Role actors and actresses are in it. And it's kind of like the old Telltale games, so like The Wolf Among Us, The Walking Dead, Telltale games, in that it's a cinematic experience that you're kind of playing through and making decisions, and occasionally there's like quick time events, but you can turn those off and just make it more of a show that you're watching and occasionally making decisions about. And then there's also like a sort of portion of the game that's dedicated towards this little dispatching mini game where you're sending out superheroes to different crises as they pop up, and you're trying to like send the right hero to the right thing. But really, it's mostly like a storytelling kind of game about this company that dispatches superheroes to different crimes, and it's like an office superhero comedy. It's extremely funny. The writing is incredible. Like literally every other line I'm like busting out laughing. I have to pause because I'm laughing too hard. It's very, very funny, and definitely check it out. Just don't play it around kids. It's not kid friendly at all.
Yeah, honestly, I saw an ad for this. I thought it was related to Invincible because it aesthetically,
it has that vibe.
like I feel like almost like the logo. They maybe, I don't know. It's very like brand confusing vibes that I got from it. So interesting to hear that it's not at all related to that.
No, it's not.
I assumed that it was.
It's clearly very like derivative of other superhero stories. Like there's a lot of other superhero. You're like, okay, that guy's kind of this guy, and this guy's kind of like this guy. But but it's definitely its own thing, and it's episodic. So every Wednesday they're releasing 2 new episodes. It's 8 episodes in total, and the first 4 are out. Actually, as of this, you listening to this, the first 6 will be out. It's cool. If you can't play it, like watch a playthrough on YouTube. It's very funny.
I really after we talked about it, Maxie, and I watched trailers of it a while back and thought it looked pretty funny. My only barrier right now is that I can't put it on my TV easily.
Yeah.
If I could put it on my Switch 2, I'd already be playing it. But like after sitting at my desk all day, I kind of want like to not sit at my desk. So I haven't. But I do think I'm going to try to pick this up.
Well, does it add anything new to the formula? I feel like, back a bajillion years ago when the Telltale games were new, like it was cool. Like Walking Dead season 1 was awesome. But then it's just they proliferated so much. There were so many of them. I was like, I just don't care about playing these like choose your own adventure games anymore. Do they do more with it, or is it the same? Like, this person will remember that.
It's got a lot of that. It's kind of the same in that regard. I wouldn't say it's not like breaking new grounds per se, but just the writing quality and the voice acting quality is so superb. Like it could have just been a really good TV show. And it would be hilarious and like very good. I think what it brings to the table in the video game aspect is the little dispatching minigame, which is pretty fun in its own right. And it is like about half of what you do is this little dispatching minigame where you're sending out heroes to different crises and whatnot. And that's pretty fun. But like my brother, for example, is also playing through Dispatch, and we're talking about it as we play. And he hates that minigame. He's like, this is my least favorite part of the game, but he still loves it because everything else is great. So
cool.
Yeah, kind of like Until Dawn or The Quarry. You know, like those aren't really bringing that much new to the formula either. But it's the production quality and polish and humor and writing and acting and everything elevate those to something I recommend to people.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that's it for me.
All right, Anders.
Thank you. Sorry, I skipped you, Maxine. That was definitely worth
It's okay.
talking about. Ladybug just flew out of my nose.
What? Excuse me?
It felt that way. It landed on my mustache. And it has a scent to it, and that's weirding me out. So anyway, thank you for joining us, everybody. I am going to go play Ball Pit right now. And we'll see you all next time. It was fun. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.